We looked at Real Madrid in the year 2025, so it's only fair we do the same with their biggest rivals Barcelona, and see how they're doing on our Football Manager 2020 simulation. While Madrid have struggled, Barcelona have dominated. With Setien in charge, they won 3 league titles, as well as a Champions League, a Spanish Cup, and multiple different Super Cups. But Setien's time at the new camp came to an end in 2024, resigning from his post in July. He was replaced by a familiar face, with Luis Enrique returning to Barcelona. And the Spaniard has been equally as impressive, enjoying an almost perfect season in charge. He won the Cup, he won the Super Cup, he pipped Real Madrid to La Liga, winning it by a point with an incredible haul of 101. But the 2024-25 season could have been even sweeter, with Barca reaching the Champions League final. However, it wasn't the perfect end, losing 1-0 to Manchester City in the final. So let's look at who started for Enrique's side, and who else they've got in their squad. In goal was Marc-Andre ter Stegen. The German is still Barcelona's number 1 in the year 2025, and he's barely missed a La Liga game. Since the simulation started, he's only missed 8 league games, and he's kept at least 16 clean sheets every season, which is incredible. Aged 33, he'll still be the number 1 for a few years, while his backup is Iñaki Peña, a 26-year-old Spaniard who came through the academy and has the best job around. He just sits on the bench every season and wins a load of medals. He's like the Spanish Ross Turnbull. Right back was Ricardo Pereira. Our first new signing at the new camp, and one of many arrivals to come from the Premier League. The defender has been a Barcelona player since the summer of 2020, costing £46.5 million from Leicester. If you know this game, that's actually not that much money really. Pereira has been a great buy though, a rampaging right back who actually scored 7 goals in his first season in Spain. Pereira hasn't always been Barca's main right back though, initially competing with Sergio Roberto and Nelson Semedo before the pair departed. Centre back was Carlos Soyuncu. Barcelona started the Champions League final with 2 former Leicester defenders, but this one didn't arrive directly from the King Power. Soyuncu has been all over Europe, leaving Leicester in 2021 for Bayern Munich, then 2 years later joining Ajax. In 2024 he finally made it to the new camp, costing £44 million. He had an okay first year, averaging just over a 7, but with only 22 league games played, it's clear he isn't actually the first choice, as Barcelona also have Andreas Christensen and Alessio Romagnoli, making it clear that Catalans are well stocked in defence. He was alongside Milan Skriniar. While the 3 previously mentioned centre-backs have rotated, Milan Skriniar is the big man at the back for Barcelona. They're Carlos Puyol, Gerard Piqué, he's the vice-captain to ter Stegen and has been a defensive rock since his £67 million move from Inter Milan in 2020. As you can see from his averages, he's a picture of consistency with a lot more to offer as he enters his peak years as a defender. Left back was Jorge. I couldn't tell you if this lad's any good in reality, I just remember that once Newcastle tried to sign him on loan and failed. But if Football Manager's anything to go by, he looks absolutely class. He cost Barcelona £43.5 million for Monaco. Christ, this is an expensively assembled squad, and it's only the beginning. But he's been strong down Barcelona's left, sharing the left back role with Maximilian Vauber, a £45 million signing from Man City. Holding midfield was Ruben Neves. Another Premier League player, and interestingly another player who Barcelona signed from Manchester City in this simulation. And surprisingly, he only cost £53 million. With the price of players on this game, I thought Neves would have been nearer 100 million, but maybe he isn't as good as I think. His average ratings in a Barcelona shirt have been just okay, but he might be on the move this summer, with Manchester United interested in his signature. If Neves does go, Julian Weigl is on standby, and not signing if ever there was one. Centre midfield was Hamed Junior Traore. In reality, Hamed Junior Traore is an Empoli player, currently on a 2-year loan spell at Sassuolo. But on FM20 he's one of the best players in the world in 5 years' time. I'll be honest, I know naught about him, but if this simulation's anything to go by, he's going to be an absolute star. But then again, they said the same about Freddie Adu. Traore cost just shy of £50 million in January 2023, and he's just enjoyed his best season ever. He scored 8 times, got 12 assists, proving why he's an essential player at the new camp. He was alongside Phil Foden. Barcelona's key player in 2025, Football Manager predict him to become the superstar that some already think he is, but it's Spain where he's strutting his stuff. Another player who Barca signed from Man City, Phil Foden cost £77 million in 2023, and he's enjoyed 2 out of this world seasons at the new camp. In the first season he got 17 goals and 9 assists, then this year he got 15 and 7 assists, which is still a huge tally. He's the talisman of Barcelona, taking that mantle away from Lionel Messi, which is damn impressive. On the right of attack is Antoine Griezmann. The French forward is now the number 7, and he's actually enjoyed a stellar Barcelona career, playing anywhere across the front wherever he's needed. Griezmann has just had his worst season in front of goal, but his average rating is still high, proving he's doing something right in red and blue. Surprisingly, Ousmane Dembele is still a Barcelona player, but has struggled to really live up to the hype, with a move to PSG currently on the horizon. On the left is Diogo Jota. Barcelona's new number 9 following Luis Suarez's retirement, Diogo Jota has had one hell of a career on this footy manager, something of a journeyman really. First it was Wolves, then Man City, then Bayern Munich, then Inter Milan, and now Barcelona. He spent the past 5 seasons at 5 different clubs, the man just can't settle. Barcelona will hope he stays though, as he was wicked down the left, averaging just shy of a goal every other game in his first season at the new camp. And up front was Giovanni Lo Celso. Our 6th and final ex-Premier League player in this Barcelona team, Giovanni Lo Celso had an odd role in the Champions League final, weirdly starting up front, which maybe explains why they lost. Despite this game, Lo Celso actually had a great season in Catalonia, scoring 11 goals in 24 games, more likely from midfield than up front. He was another expensive arrival, costing 75 million quid from Spurs in January 2024. But it's time for the big question: what happened to Lionel Messi? Well, at the age of 37, he's still Barcelona's number 10, but not for much longer, set to retire in July 2025. He started the simulation on fire, but his influences began to wane, starting more and more games on the bench as the years went by. Is this a glimpse into Lionel Messi's future? So that's Barcelona in 2025 according to our 2020 Football Manager simulation. Let us know who you want us to look at next in the comments below, and as always don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo, and until next time I'll catch you around.